Here's the full speech in the warm, heartfelt, and uplifting style you're looking for. My brothers and sisters, patience is not simply about waiting for something to happen, it is a reflection of your relationship with Allah. When you are patient, you are essentially saying, Ya Allah, I trust you more than I trust my own plans. I know you see what I cannot see, and you know what I do not know. Patience is the ability to remain calm, not because the situation is easy, but because your heart is at peace, knowing that Allah's promise is true. It is believing in the unseen, holding firm to the certainty that even if today feels heavy and tomorrow looks unclear, your Lord has already written your story in the most perfect way. When a believer is patient, it shows that their faith is not dependent on immediate results. Anybody can believe when life is smooth, but true faith is proven when you still smile, still pray, and still do good even when your du'as seem unanswered. Patience also reflects your understanding of Allah's names and attributes. You know that He is Al-Hakim, the most wise, so you accept that His plan is always better than yours. You know that He is Ar-Aman, the most merciful, so you trust that even what hurts you now has some mercy hidden within it. You know that He is Al-Latif, the subtle and gentle, so you believe that He is working in ways you cannot yet perceive. Sometimes patience means controlling your tongue when you want to complain. Other times it means holding back your frustration when the road ahead feels endless. And at times it means letting go of the constant need to know why, because your faith tells you that Allah's wisdom is far beyond your understanding. The Qur'an reminds us repeatedly that Allah is with the patient. Imagine that the Creator of the heavens and the earth is with you in your moments of waiting, in your moments of trial, in your moments of holding on when it feels easier to give up. That companionship is not something you can see with your eyes, but it's something you feel deep in your soul. Patience then becomes more than just an act. It becomes a form of worship, a silent declaration that your trust in Allah is stronger than the noise of your worries. It is your heart saying, My Lord, I don't just worship you in my sujud, I worship you in my waiting too. My brothers and sisters, one of the greatest misunderstandings we have is thinking that if something we pray for does not come quickly, it must mean Allah has refused it. That is not always the case. Sometimes the delay is not because Allah is saying no, but because He is saying not yet. When Allah delays something, it is never without wisdom. Perhaps the blessing you are asking for is still being prepared for you. Perhaps you are still being prepared for it. Just like a fruit that is picked too early can be bitter, blessings that come before their time can cause more harm than good. Think of a seed buried deep in the soil. You water it, you care for it, but you cannot see what is happening beneath the ground. You might think nothing is growing, when in reality the roots are forming, the strength is building, and in time it will break through the surface. In the same way, Allah is arranging matters for you in the unseen, and when the moment is right, what He has written for you will appear so beautifully. Sometimes a delay protects you. Perhaps you wanted a certain job, a certain relationship, or a certain opportunity, but Allah knew there was harm hidden within it, so He placed a barrier between you and it. You might see it as rejection, but in reality it was protection. Delays can also be a form of elevation. Allah may love to hear your du'a so much that He prolongs the waiting period, allowing your heart to turn back to Him again and again. Every tear you shed in sujud, every heartfelt plea you make, is recorded and rewarded. The Prophet told us that du'a is never wasted. It is either answered in this life, stored for you in the next, or used to protect you from harm you never even knew about. And sometimes the delay teaches you lessons you could not learn otherwise. It teaches resilience, it teaches humility, it teaches you to detach from the world and attach your heart to Allah alone. When you finally receive what you prayed for, you will value it more deeply because of the long wait. So the next time something you long for does not arrive when you expect it, do not rush to think it is a denial. Allah's silence is not His absence. His delay is not His refusal. It is His wisdom in action, His mercy in disguise, His plan unfolding at the pace He knows is best for you. My brothers and sisters, no matter how heavy the burden feels today, no matter how endless the night seems, Every single test you go through has an expiry date. There is no hardship that will last forever. This is the Sunnah of Allah in His creation. After hardship comes ease, after darkness comes light, after tears comes relief. Sometimes when we are in the middle of a trial, it feels like there is no way out. The pain clouds our vision, the uncertainty makes our heart restless, and we begin to imagine that this is how life will always be. But remember, the same way winter always gives way to spring, and storms always clear to reveal blue skies, your hardship too is moving towards its end, even if you cannot see it right now. Allah reminds us in the Qur'an, indeed, with hardship comes ease, not after hardship, but with hardship. That means even within your struggle, there are hidden moments of relief, unexpected blessings, and unseen help from Allah. Your test is not a constant wall of darkness. It is filled with small windows of light that you may only notice if you choose to look for them. And just like medicine may taste bitter while it heals you, a trial may hurt while it purifies you. Allah may allow a certain hardship in your life not to break you, but to cleanse your heart, to strengthen your soul, and to prepare you for a stage you cannot yet imagine. Think of the stories of the prophets. Nuh has endured years upon years of rejection, yet the flood that brought his relief came exactly when Allah decreed. Yusuf as was thrown into a well, sold as a slave, and imprisoned unjustly, yet every chapter of his hardship was leading him to the position of honor Allah had prepared for him. Even our beloved Prophet Muhammad faced persecution and pain, but each moment of difficulty was part of a divine script that led to the victory of Islam. Your test is not forever. It has a start and it has an end. The duration is written, the outcome is written, the relief is written, but between now and then, you are being given the opportunity to show Allah your faith, your patience, your trust. Because when you endure with faith, you are not just waiting for the test to end, you are growing through it, being elevated by it, and earning rewards that will last far longer than the hardship itself. My brothers and sisters, patience does not mean doing nothing. Trusting Allah does not mean sitting back and waiting for blessings to drop into your lap. Tawakkul, true reliance on Allah, is a beautiful balance between putting in your best effort and placing your complete trust in your Lord for the outcome. The Prophet taught us this balance in a simple but powerful way when he said to the man who left his camel untied, "Tie it and then rely on Allah." This means you must take every step you can within your ability, and then leave what you cannot control in the hands of the one who controls everything. If you want success in your studies, you must open the book, attend the classes, and put in the hours. Then you raise your hands and ask Allah for knowledge and understanding. If you seek provision, you go out, work honestly, search for opportunities, and you trust that Allah will place barakah in what is written for you. If you want peace in your heart, you fill it with Qur'an, Du'a, Hikr, and you trust that Allah will remove your sorrow at the right time. Tawakkul is not laziness dressed as piety. It is action dressed with trust. It is the believer's way of saying, "Ya Allah, I have done all I can, and now I leave the rest to you, because you are the best of planners." Sometimes you will see the fruits of your effort quickly. Other times Allah will hold them back, not because He ignored you, but because He is writing for you a better outcome than the one you imagined. Your effort is never wasted with Allah. Even if you don't see the result you wanted, every step you take with sincerity is recorded, every struggle is rewarded, and every sacrifice is seen. The beauty of Tawakkul is that it removes fear of the future. You walk into every situation knowing that you have done your part, and whatever happens after that is the choice of the most merciful. If it turns out the way you hoped, you are grateful. If it doesn't, you are patient, knowing Allah's choice is always better than yours. And remember, reliance on Allah does not only apply to the big decisions in life, it is also for the small daily matters. From the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, you live in a state of seeking His help while using the means He has provided. This constant balance between effort and trust is what keeps a believer grounded in reality, yet always connected to the divine. My brothers and sisters, when a hardship strikes, Our first reaction is often to see it as purely negative, a punishment, a setback, a misfortune. But the truth is, many of the trials we go through carry hidden blessings that we can only recognize with the eyes of faith. A trial can be the very thing that wakes you up from a life of heedlessness. Perhaps before the hardship, you rarely turn to Allah in du'a, but in the pain of the trial, your hands now rise in the quiet of the night. Perhaps before the struggle, your heart was attached to the world, but through the difficulty, you learn to detach from what does not last and cling to the one who never leaves you. Some trials are purification. Allah knows the small mistakes and sins that weigh on our scale. Instead of saving the consequences for the day of judgment, He allows us to face difficulties in this life so they can be erased here. The Prophet told us that no fatigue, illness, worry, or grief afflicts a believer, even the prick of a thorn, except that Allah expiates sins through it. What seems like pain may in fact be mercy in disguise. Trials can also shape your character in ways ease never could. Patience is not developed in comfort. Resilience is not learned in calm waters. Hardships train the heart to be humble, to be grateful for even the smallest of blessings, and to show compassion to others who are suffering. How often have people who endured hardship themselves been the most gentle and understanding to those in pain? And sometimes the blessing of a trial is that it redirects you. You might have been heading down a path that looked good to you but held harm you could not see. Allah closed that door, and at first you cried over it, but later you realized He was guiding you to something better, something safer, something more in line with your purpose. We may not always understand the wisdom of our trials in the moment. Sometimes the clarity comes years later, when you look back and say, if that had not happened, I would not be who I am today. I would not have learned what I learned. I would not have reached where I reached. So when a test comes, try to look beyond the pain and ask yourself, what might Allah be giving me through this? What lesson is hidden here? What blessing is wrapped inside this difficulty? The answer may not be immediate, but the belief that there is goodness even if unseen will keep your heart steady. My brothers and sisters, one of the deepest signs of faith is to trust that Allah's timing is never early, never late, always precise, always perfect. Nothing in your life happens by accident. Every moment is part of a divine plan written long before you were even created. We, as human beings, live in a world of urgency. We want everything now, our prayers answered instantly, our problems solved immediately, our dreams fulfilled overnight. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, does not rush. He knows that sometimes giving you something too soon could damage your heart, your faith, or your future. Just like a skilled gardener waits for the right season to plant and harvest, Allah brings forth blessings when the conditions are perfect for your growth. Think of the story of Musa as a baby, he was placed into a basket and sent down a river, a moment that seemed dangerous and uncertain. But every step of that journey, from the river to the palace to the years in exile, was timed with precision to prepare him for his mission. The delays, the detours, the pauses, they were not mistakes. They were part of the perfect clock of Allah's decree. Sometimes you are ready for the blessing, but the blessing is not ready for you. Other times the blessing is ready, but you are not yet ready to carry it. Allah synchronizes both. He shapes you. He shapes the circumstances, and when they align, the door opens in a way you could never have imagined. Trusting Allah's timing means you no longer live with constant anxiety about when things will happen. It means your heart rests in the belief that what is meant for you will reach you, not a second too early, not a second too late. It means accepting that a delay might be the very thing protecting you, building you, or guiding you to something greater. It also means letting go of the habit of comparing your journey to others. Someone else might achieve something at 25, while you might reach it at 40, and still, yours will come at exactly the moment it was meant to. Just as no two flowers bloom at the same time, no two destinies unfold in the same pattern, your chapter is not late just because someone else's chapter began earlier. When you understand this, you begin to see that even the moments that felt like waiting were actually part of the blessing. The delay was shaping your gratitude, deepening your du'a, strengthening your connection with your Lord. And when the moment finally comes, you will know without doubt. This was the exact moment Allah had written for it to happen, and it could not have been better.